flow graph has been divided into two disconnected, mutually disconnected, separate subgraphs. If that happens, then those edges are called cut set. Edges in one direction, you can add a constant delay to all the edges. In the other direction, you have to take out that much delay from all the edges. Okay, those are the edges you identify. Identify the cut set, and there is nothing unique. It is up to you to visualize. Give it a big circuit, it's up to you. You can view certain edges as a cut set so that if you remove them, the entire circuit gets divided into two halves. One half is one sub circuit or sub data flow graph, another half is another sub circuit or sub data flow graph. See the edges from one side to another side, all the edges in one direction. In all of them, you can add a constant delay. Direction, you have to take out the same amount of delay. So 2D FIR filter design is not part of the course. I'm sorry, I cannot give an answer here. That is too big a topic. 2D FIR filter design. Firstly, we are not talking of filter design in this course. What we are doing is filter circuit architectural optimization, not a filter design. Filter designing is not a course. Retiming will come only if it is a real-time filter. You see the word timing, retiming. If you have a 2D filter is not in the course. I believe I cannot take it up because they have to tell a lot about 2D filter and sorry, that cannot be done here. 2D filter is not taught, and you will not have this in the your final exams or any assignments. Why are you bringing up this filter? When it comes to 2D FIR filter, there are issues whether it is separable filter or non-separable filter and many other things, So that requires lots of background and all. I cannot do that here now. Ask questions. Yeah, you have come to the point straight away. Thank you very much. How are the questions in the exam would be? Well, I have not said them, but let me tell you something. There will be a section where total marks will be 40. Yeah, good evening, Amitabh. I hope you are taking care of yourself. Anyway, coming to the NSEM exam, 40 marks. Yeah, I'll be asking questions having, part marks like 1, 2, maybe 4 or 3, but totaling 9, 10. And they are difficult, but you have to have clear concepts about what you have taught and apply those formula or those theories. That is 40 marks. On the other hand, there will be 20 marks where it will be straight like general knowledge type. I'll just a question and there is a straight away answer. If you are thorough with the class notes and the topic, you can answer each of them. There is another section which is something in between that will be having another 20 marks. And some of these questions here are related to assignment. So if you do the assignments well, then you will find that first section carrying 20 marks and second section carrying 20 marks will turn out to be easier for you. This is not a platform. You are insisting on 2D FIR filter, you can contact me separately. This is not the platform. I cannot and I will not talk on 2D FIR filter design. This is not. It's a VLSI course. That. I restrict to what I have taught. Yes. Others? All are keeping quiet. No question. Yeah, it's coming from Aniket. This should be it for me now. Thank you, sir, for your time. Very good. So next time, Aniket, and take care of yourself in these difficult times. I know you have some illness, and also you should be more careful. From Dipayon KGP, people coming up. Devine, fine, sir, help regarding cadence. This is not a platform, and I don't know much of cadence. Please, restrict yourself only to this course, whatever I have taught. If you go beyond, either I'll not be able to answer, even if he can answer, I'll rather not, because, this is on an official line. I have purely on the window of what I have taught. Please, could you explain pipelining and retiming of 2D FIR filter, which are realized in VLSI for AI? This is again, no, not here. You contact me separately. Dipayon, contact me separately. 2D FIR filter has not been done here. But if you see Paris book, chapter 1 or 2, in the pipelining and parallel processing, he has given some examples. Fine. You contact me separately, I can. But then here we have to confine ourselves to only what has been taught in this course. What is recent research topic going on in the field of VLSI signal processing? Oh, yeah. Of this subject is to see how we can optimize circuits for less power and high throughput data area. Now, today, one very big topic is IoT. It requires lots of data processing in very little time, so very high speed. And also, many of the IoT devices may not have enough power, enough resource in terms of power. So, a lot of operations in terms of less power. So, as a result, you can focus on IoT applications and try to look at this subject, try to use it there. Some good examples from some IoT applications and all. This, according to me, will be a good area. Learning, but then basic learning is something which is offline, and VLSI signal processing is a purely online thing. If this is not online, there is no use of all this retiming and parallel processing and all that. Okay. Friends in hardware implementation of signal processors and how to approach designing problems. You see, there is a difference. Maybe, I don't know whether I explained this in the beginning of this course. This course, where you are optimizing an architecture, here you have all the freedom to do so. You are designing a circuit of your own. You are trying to optimize it by applying various tricks, various techniques, not in this course. So this is towards cheap integrated circuit, cheap implementation or implementation of field programmable gate array, where also you basically fabricate a chip using, modifying the connections given in a FPGA, forming some connections and making other disconnections. But those are chips. But when it comes to DSP processor, that is a computer processor, there, you cannot use these optimization techniques because you are given architecture by the maker, like Texas Instruments. So you have to write programs based on what you have been given. You cannot suddenly do retiming there and other things. Of course, some of these architectures provide some features which help in making things fast. But typically, what is done, what I would say is done is this: there is a hybrid approach. That is, there is a master processor, which is a DSP processor. There you write your main program, but that program, from time to time, suppose you are doing an FFT, so you pass the data like a subroutine to a hardware accelerator, which you design, either as a chip or on FPGA and connect to your DSP processor. So that chip takes the data. That chip has been designed by you using all these techniques which I have taught in this course. Like pipelining or parallel processing, unfolding, whatever. You have designed so that it is optimum, and then you connect it to the DSP processor, and that your program in the DSP, main DSP sends this data, like you call a subroutine, you call this program and send the data to it. Your hardware, which you design, that will carry out the job very, very fast, and then give you back. Again, after a while, your main program will require another operation. It will again, like calling a subroutine. It will pass on the data to another hardware device, hardware accelerator connected to the DSP processor, okay, and carry on the job fast. So I guess this is the way things are done. DSP is a master processor which controls the main program, but it calls, like subroutine, it calls those hardware units you have designed, and maybe in the form of FPGA or directly in the form of chip, interfaced with your DSP processor, calls them so that those subroutines or those special functions are executed very fast. Timing, delay base. This was taught in the class. So if you have any specific question, ask me. But retiming, delay base, I don't know, because a whole lecture or maybe more than a lecture was dedicated to that. Just go through that lecture. Yeah. Keyboard. Current semiconductor industry, VLSI signal processing role in what? IoT. I mean, the sentence is not coming fully. What is it? Hold on. No, I'm not getting you. You are saying as per semiconductor industry, VLSI signal processing role in is it IoT, IoT physical design. But what? Your question is not complete. Sentence is not complete. So I am not able to understand what it is. circuit physical design process of chip. As per current semiconductor industry, VLSI signal processing role in integrated circuit physical design process of chip. It's not. I am not understanding the question. What is the question? For current semiconductor industry, VLSI signal processing role in integrated circuit physical design process of chip. The question is not clear. Obviously, when you design a chip, the circuit is, it's a digital circuit. Most often, if you are doing real time, it's a digital signal processing. Could be something from communication, something from video, multimedia, and things like that. And before you go for actual chip design, you have to optimize the architecture. That is where, at that level, VLSI signal processing comes. You get a better architecture, maintaining the same functionality of the circuit. Architecture should be able to process high-speed data, take less power, less chip area, and all that. And then you go for physical design. If you are designing a PGA or chip, to the transistor design and all those. But signal processing is at the block level, or at the most at the logic level, or device level. Yeah. Something from the subject I taught. If there is any doubt anywhere, be it unfolding, be it folding, because I am finishing the lecture. I have finished the lecture today, but I don't know which stage you are in now, up to what has been covered. Whatever you have studied, whatever you have come across so far from my lectures, you can ask questions to clear your doubts.